What is going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight? Once again, this is the Club of the Man 1993. Rare to see me on a work night reviewing at 11:15 at night, but thought I'd do it. I have the energy right now. We'll see how this goes. This is my live review of the December 9th, 2020 edition of AEW Dynamite. Took place once again, as always, at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, for the first time since February, or whenever it was, well, at least you're on YouTube, I've had to make a change. Since May, since obviously we had a new women's champion crowned in May, but of course for the first time since Revolution back in February, right before all this pandemic mess started, we have crowned, of course, a new AEW World Champion. He is Kenny Omega! So this has been updated, of course, with the new champ, as it should be. So we'll talk about this episode of Dynamite. Overall, excellent episode. Another great episode of Dynamite. Wasn't as good as last week's, but we heard from the champion. We heard from Sting. We had a really great main event for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. We had a couple other fun matches. We had one thing, again, that I wasn't too keen on, but, well, kind of two things I'm a little not super duper keen on, or not sold yet, but open to giving it a chance. Well, one thing at least. The other one, I'm not quite getting it, but it happens. This was still a fun show. I enjoyed it from top to bottom, and we will go through this episode of Dynamite as always and talk about it, and we will go from there. As I continue to say that now that AEW has Sting! It's Sting! On their roster, they literally are just going to kill NXT each week in ratings. They are. I'm sorry. Again, the war is over. AEW has won. I don't care what Facebook or anyone else has to say about it. The war's over. AEW has won. So let's roll and talk about the show. Live chat, we got JR. He went back through and watched my Raw review earlier because he missed it. No worries. Wasn't much to talk about Raw, but there's quite a bit to talk about Dynamite. So let's roll in and talk about this show. We opened up with a fun tag match with the Young Bucks versus TH2's Angelico and Jack Evans. A non-title match. Of course, if TH2 would win this match, then they'd probably line themselves up for a tag title shot. But of course, AEW is not that dumb. They don't have tag champs lose every time they face someone off in a non-title match. The lazy booking that WWE does. It was not a bad, fun match. I thought it was pretty good. We had a powerbomb off the apron into the Acclaim in the crowd. We had a couple good near falls there with a 450 splash. We had a Doomsday device on the stage. A super kick party. Angelico kicked out of the cover. We had a space flying tiger drop, but Matt Jackson catches Evans off of him and takes it off the apron onto the floor. And then Angelico is trapped with the BTE trigger, and the Young Bucks get the win in a fun opening match. Afterwards, though, we have the Acclaims, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, who I swear the few times I've seen these guys so far, I keep thinking they're Epico and Primo Cologne. I'm like, what are the Colognes doing in AEW Dynamite? I don't know, but it's not them. I doubt it's them. If they are, correct me. It could be, who knows. But SCU, though, came out to make the save before they can lay a finger on the Young Bucks. So this means that SCU, the first ever AEW World Tag Team Champions, are going to be lurking around and challenging the Young Bucks, or what's going on here? If it's going to lead to just a feud with them and the Acclaim, who knows? But fun opening match, definitely for sure. MJF has a promo lamenting his lack of the Dynamite ring after having an empty finger, and talking about how he's going to beat Orange Cassidy tonight and hurt him and get back his ring. Darby Allin gets a promo where a therapist shows him some ink blots. Basically they were all, like silhouettes of the different members of Team Taz, and obviously the one he wanted a match with was Brian Cage. But then, of course, they end with the one resembling Sting. Darius chuckles, has nothing to say. They're teasing that match for sure. But speaking of Sting, we have Cody Rhodes in the ring with Tony Schiavone. Cody asks him his reactions to Sting's debut. But Sting wasn't wasting time because Sting's music instantly hits and he comes out. Arn Anderson was still in the ring, gets close to him and says he just had to make sure this was real since both Sting and Cody have agendas. He's going to see his way out. Tony passes Sting the mic and also goes to leave, but then he goes, no, Tony, come over here. Give me a hug. And give me one more big, it's Sting! For the fans, which he does, and, they hug it out, just making a special moment, of course. So Cody Rhodes says he's been waiting to share a ring with Sting for a long, long time, but Sting says, I'm not here for you, but not right now. There's something really familiar about this place. He points to the skateboard Sting, Darby Allin, up in the seats, just staring down. Obviously saying he sees Darby Allin as him. Cody welcomes him back. Sting says the only thing that's for sure is nothing's for sure except this. He's officially signed with AEW and plans on being close to the fans and in AEW for a long time. The guy's 61 years old, I think it is. I'm not sure how long that's going to be, but however long it is, we're going to enjoy the ride. He plans on spending a lot of time right here, but the way he chooses to play is his business. And he tells Cody, I'll see you around. So, short and sweet, leaving us wanting more. Why did Sting pick AEW? Who is he targeting first? Obviously, he has his eyes on the likes of Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes, and probably a few others as well. Maybe even Jon Moxley, I think, would be a great match for Sting, as I think. So, excellent promo. And again, I loved how it made it a little bit more, personal, realistic with him and Tony Schiavone. Again, obviously having Tony Schiavone, hype him up and whatnot, give him a hug and whatnot. You can tell he was having fun. Again, his run in WWE was just garbage. He literally got treated like crap. I mean, yes, his match with Triple H was good, except for the fact he should have won. Even his match with Rollins was alright, but of course it got cut short because of that turnbuckle shot. But, obviously, he must be healthy enough to do something in AEW, so we'll see what he does. Could he be a manager? Could he actually be wrestling? He's got his eyes on Darby Allin, like I said before, so we'll have to wait and see. I was excited to see him here, and I look forward to seeing what he can do backstage. What he can do in the ring still. Team Taz, though, is backstage, kind of promo calling Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes, and Sting out, and crowing about Taz's son, Hook, defecting from Cody's school to train with his own dad. FTR then had their first match since they dropped the tag titles. It was not a bad match against the Varsity Blondes, and they won with the Goodnight Express. But afterwards, FTR jawed and get into a brief scuffle with Jurassic Express, so I guess we're getting a feud between them. Fine by me. We then see Hangman Adam Page drinking backstage, interview about the trios match he's set up against Private Party and Matt Hardy for next week, despite not having any partners. Then the Beaver Boys, John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order, come up to him. And of course, again, Hangman Adam Page has been asked about joining the Dark Order, and they asked the tag partners, and he says fine, just for one match, but he's not joining the Dark Order. It's a one and done deal. Who knows where this is going? I don't know, just them constantly, having, I don't know, without Brody Lee there, again, it's kind of like a Dark Order is kind of missing something again. Like, you're just asking everybody just to join their crew, and that's all they've really been doing. I need something else from Dark Order right now. Again, maybe when Brody Lee comes back from his ankle injury, I think it is, hopefully we'll get something more. Speaking of Dark Order, the number 10 of the Dark Order had a match against Dustin Rhodes, which Dustin won. Afterwards, Evil Uno goes out trying to recruit him, and he'd be number 7, they're trying to say. But then, of course, Dustin ends up slapping Evil Uno to Dark Orgo to rush him, but Uno warns him off and simply says that when Dustin comes to understand what he understands, he'll come to him. Which, alright, whatever, we'll see. Tony Schiavone then has a sit-down interview with Brandy Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq talks about the connections with Jade Cargill and that he didn't want her to attack Brandy Rhodes. Brandy says she hopes they can stop all this and nobody else needs to get hurt. Shaq agrees and talks about how he enjoys seeing them do a match. Their business concluded. Brandy goes to leave. Shaq tells her to watch Jade for some pointers while Brandy's healing. And that makes Brandy mad. She goes up and throws her drink in Shaq's face. I don't know. Do I really want to see Shaquille O'Neal in the ring? I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't quite excite me. Something about it is just not there for me seeing Shaquille O'Neal wrestle. Even in AEW. I mean, I know they kind of teased him having a match with The Big Show at WrestleMania a couple years ago, but I think it was going to happen, but then Shaq backed out of it. I don't know. I just don't really see anything behind Shaquille O'Neal being in a wrestling ring. And then, I don't know. I just not quite digging it. But it seems that they're teasing a match with him and Cody Rhodes. Alright, whatever. I don't know. Then we have Inner Circle without Santana, who was not there for some reason, come out for this intervention. He explains the segment here is going to be serious, and they had a week to think things over. They have to decide if they're going to stay or if they're going to go. Get out your grievances now. Shiv said this is Festivus. I got a lot of problems with all you people here, and you're all going to hear about it. If you know that reference, of course, we can be friends. MJF starts off. He says he loves each of them like brothers, and he just wanted to be part of the greatest faction in wrestling today. He accuses Sammy Guevara of betraying them last week, and then Sammy gets in his face and they start yelling at each other. Jericho says they all see Dynamite. We know what happened. MJF took the towel and shenanigans and shirt. MJF begged off, and Ortiz says Santana made him realize something. MJF and Wardlow are incredibly talented and assets to the group, but as human beings, they're growing on him like a fungus. But he is growing on him. He tells Sammy, shake his hand. He knows he's the better man to shake his hand and to be done with it. Guevara hesitates, but then he agrees to shake the hand, tells Jericho he trusts him with everything, and he'll shake MJF's hand. But if MJF does one more thing like this happens, he's quitting the Inner Circle. So, again, I'm still seeing... I don't see the Inner Circle completely splitting up here. I still see MJF somehow driving Sammy Guevara out of the group and turning Sammy babyface. I still see that happening. And I like how they still continue to somewhat, tease it throughout the night. Teasing the glue that's keeping the Inner Circle together. Well, of course, before that, Hager and Wardlow are arguing for being creepy and staring at each other. Until Jericho says between them, they agree to stop staring at each other. And then MJF almost ruins the moment by running his mouth, but Jericho gets them to flip the bird together, and the Inner Circle stands united. And of course, they later said they're going to be out there to support MJF in his match against Orange Cassidy for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. FTR is being interviewed backstage, and Cash Wheeler takes full responsibility of losing control of his emotions and losing the tag titles. Tully Blanchard will let him take the blame, though, pointing out that he wasn't there and the team was incomplete. Harwood rambles about Mario Andretti driving trucks, and they talk about how they're going to run the tag division again. I'm guessing we're probably at some point, maybe a Revolution, get a rematch with like 2 out of 3 falls or something like that, which would be a good match, I think, between the Bucks and FTR. I think that's the direction we're going. I don't really see anybody else challenging Young Bucks right now on the next pay-per-view. So we're probably going to get a rematch with the Young Bucks and FTR. So cool with me. Then we have this. We have Eddie Kingston teaming up with the Butcher and the Blade, and they took on a team of Penta L0M, Ray Phoenix, and Lance Archer. I'm really not getting what's going on with this Eddie Kingston storyline and the Lucha Bros. Again, Pac randomly returns, randomly reforms Death Triangle. That stable will really have much to it. But now all of a sudden, Lance Archer is getting in the tag match with the baby faces. I didn't get that. I don't know. Lance Archer, despite the fact he really hasn't won the big opportunities he's gotten so far, such as for the TNT title, and when he faced Moxley for the AEW World title, again, Archer should be booked like that Brock Lesnar type booking. He should not be in tag matches, especially with baby faces. That was strange, and that again probably should not have happened. I don't know. Again, I'm still not getting this feud. So the heels won with a powerbomb neckbreaker from the Butcher and the Blade. There was a part in the match though where it looked like that they had taken out Ray Phoenix, I think it was, with a nasty bump. But afterwards, Archer attacks and lays them out. And then the Butcher saved the Blade from the blackout. So we have that. Again, not getting this feud. Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill are beating up Red Velvet down while Vicky Guerrero looks on. Ivelisse and Diamante and maybe one or two others, of course, come in and get involved as well as they're beating down on Brandy Rhodes. So, whatever, like I said, I'm not a big fan of this Shaquille O'Neal thing, so whatever. But, Abaddon, though, defeated Tesha Price, and afterwards, Abaddon continues to beat down Tesha until Hikaru Shida goes out and makes the save with a kendo stick. She even hit Abaddon, but she sits right back up. So, again, they're teasing this whole thing about if Hikaru Shida is really afraid of Abaddon or not. She's probably going to be the next person to challenge for the title. We'll see where it goes. And then we have a recap of what happened with Kenny Omega winning the world title. He is helicoptered in with his new manager, Don Callis. They refuse to give Alex Marvez a comment when they get into the ring. After Kenny's introduced his big long introduction, he says he's been in the business since 1983 and he's never been more disgusted. And Callis takes the mic and says he doesn't know why anyone's upset. He was just teaching Tony Khan a lesson and people saying this was the biggest screw job since Montreal. Well, he was there that night, and last week the stakes were even higher. People want to know how they cooked this up. It took years of planning. Callis has known Omega since he was 10, and he's watched every step of his career protecting him. And years ago, they changed the course of wrestling by booking Omega versus Jericho in the Tokyo Dome. People say they stole the title. Well, you can't steal when you've created, and you wanted 7-star Kenny Omega. Well, you're getting him. Omega has waited and bided his time for over a year, and they pulled it off. It was an instant classic, and we all fell for it. More than anything, they needed Moxley to buy into it. Omega takes his sunglasses off and reveals a black eye and says that Moxley brought it, but nobody kicks out of the one-winged angel. And if you think last week was a surprise, they're just getting started. Callis says we can't handle it, and some people make matches, some people make money, but Kenny Omega makes history. People have been waiting for it, so he drops the catchphrase, goodbye and good night, bang. Excellent promo. Again, the only thing is about, again, so obviously now Kenny Omega's full heel on heel. The cleaner, full on heel, we're getting New Japan Kenny Omega. My only problem is I still wish it would have done a little bit more storytelling for when he actually did defeat Hangman Adam Page and kind of get a little more heelish there. I mean, again, it still could have been Kenny Omega who attacked Jon Moxley. But I feel like they could have solidified the heel turn just a little bit more with his feud with Hangman before getting to this thing and just like kind of like, just having to win a title and then boom, instantly. I feel like they could have transitioned a little bit better, but still an excellent promo, and I can't wait to see where this goes next. I'm not sure we're going to get a rematch, maybe even like a fatal 4-way or something like that with Omega, Moxley, Jericho, and MJF. We could get that as well. But we're live for some good stuff, as we're going to be getting the best version of Kenny Omega, the cleaner for sure, in upcoming weeks. So that's that. We have the holiday schedule headed up for AEW, which features a special holiday bash presentation rather than Dynamite on December 23rd. Then special shows, one featuring Jericho on the 30th and one featuring Snoop Dogg on January 6th. And then we have our main event for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, MJF versus Orange Cassidy. Excellent match. Of course, it started off with just best friends, and the Inner Circle out at ringside. But of course, Best Friends brought a bunch of other baby faces down to basically even the odds with the Inner Circle. And again, I like how obviously, the Inner Circle getting involved at times was definitely a good test to see, even though I still think it's too soon to start, teasing the idea of the Inner Circle breaking up. I like how they're beginning to start teasing, these tests to see, hey, this wasn't working before, but would this work now, basically? We had a butterfly shoulder breaker, a tiger driver, which Orange Cassidy kicked out of. There's assault of the earth and punching on the right on the injured hand, though. MJF wishbones fingers, and then Orange Cassidy counted out that to an orange punch. MJF kicked out. Orange takes his sleeves off. It's another orange punch, but then Wardlow puts MJF's boot onto the ropes. And everybody at ringside starts brawling, and it looked like there was some back and forth. There was even a time where, Jericho sent in Floyd, his baseball bat, and it looked like, both Orange Cassidy and MJF tried playing those mind games to which, unfortunately they couldn't pull off an Eddie Guerrero, and the referee just ripped the bat out of MJF's hands and threw it out, because it looked like at times that Orange was going to get the victory. But then towards the end of the match, once the referee was distracted again, Miro came down and laid out Cassidy with a lariat. And then MJF flops over to the cover with a one-arm cover, and he retains the Dynamite Diamond Ring once again. That vital weapon of his that he has used to win matches is still his. Afterwards, though, the Best Friends attack Miro and Kip Sabian, and the referees break them up. And MJF just starts gloating about the fact that he won. And that's going off the air. Great main event and a great segue. It was probably going to get a feud, maybe a match at Revolution if it gets there, I'm not sure, between Orange Cassidy and Miro. Should be awesome. I can't wait to see what it does. And that's Dynamite. Excellent show, guys. I gave it a B+. People on Twitter, though, 15 votes, 40% said A, 46.7% said B, 13.3% said C, and nobody said D or lower. Again, I gave it a B+. Excellent show, for sure. Tyler says gave it an A. Worst Royal Rumble winner, probably Roman Reigns. Where was Mr. Brody Lee been at? Again, I hear he's injured with an ankle. ECW as a third was trash, for sure. It's leading to a TNA invasion, possibly. Who's a favorite wrestler in the... he knows that Daniel Bryan. Yep, Daniel Bryan is my favorite wrestler. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it. B+ with Dynamite. Excellent show tonight. I'll review NXT tomorrow, and sometime this weekend I'll also review SmackDown, catch up again. I'm not going to be able to watch it live on Friday, so we'll see where it goes. So, guys, what are your thoughts on Dynamite this week? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe and comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. I'm checking out, guys. Taking a shower and going to bed. Have a great night. I'll see you all later. Peace out, everybody.